What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Realms of Metal. Eddie here, back with you from my happy place, my metal room here in the woods in PA. It's chilling. I'm chilling. It's a Saturday. We're listening to some records. And I want to do a video today that I've been wanting to do for a while, and a band I really haven't talked about enough, and that's fucking Overkill. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to lump in. I've been doing a Legend series where I go into bands' histories and everything like that. Um, Overkill has been around for 40 plus fucking years. They got 20 full lengths. I mean, that's a long ass video. So I figured it'd be kind of cool to like lump like the old Overkill history and the records in with the box set, the vinyl box set that came out a couple years ago. This is the Atlantic Years box set, 1986 to 1994. And this came out December 3rd, 2021. So tomorrow's December 3rd. Tomorrow, this box set will be 2 years old. So I figured it would be kind of cool to talk about the box set and combine that with the early history of the Overkill records that are in this box set. And, it won't take up that much time, and it's still fun as hell. And it brings me back to when I was a kid, all these records. And, I love this band. It was one of the first thrash bands that I loved as a kid. This was one of the first thrash records I had as a kid, Under the Influence. And whenever I see that album cover, it just provokes an emotion in me of that time. And I just love just looking at that album cover. It just makes me happy. You know what I mean? Like this was the inspiration for the Green Realms of Metal logo. I'm like, when we were doing a logo and trying to brand ourselves, I'm like, what should I do? And I was like, I'm just gonna go the Overkill route, make everything green, So it's beautiful and it's green and it screams thrash metal, and that's all you need to know. So let's do a brief history on Overkill in case you didn't know. Formed in 1980 in Old Bridge, New Jersey, by members of the punk band The Lubricants. Yes, The Lubricants. Bassist Dee Dee Verney and drummer Rat Skates. They put an ad out looking for a guitarist and a lead singer. Answered by Robert Pasarak, who was on guitar, and singer Bobby Ellsworth, and that was kind of like the first incarnation of Overkill. They went through several band names. One of the band names was Virgin Killer that they toyed around with, and they finally settled on Overkill, which was the Motorhead record, right? So Pasarak left the band, and he was replaced by a couple of guitar players, one of them being Dan Spitz, who went on to be in Anthrax, right? Anthony Amendola, Mike Sherry, Rich Conte, and they ended up ending with Bobby Gustafson. So, and that was like late 1982, early 1983, and that was the lineup. You had Bobby Blitz Ellsworth, Dee Dee Verney, Rat Skates, Bobby Gustafson. They released the Power in Black demo in 1983. Now, that was independent, and then they went on to, it was a big hit, a big success. That enabled them to secure a small record deal with Azra Metal Storm Records that resulted in the 85 4-track EP called Overkill. That got the attention of Johnny Z, John Zazul of Megaforce Records, signed the band to a multi-album record contract in October 1985, and then we got Feel the Fire. So I'm not going to go into Feel the Fire. It's not part of the box set. The box set is the Atlantic Years box set. Those are the records that we're really going to focus on. So we got Feel the Fire in 85. Overkill's second album, Taken Over, was released March of 1987, and it was the first to be released by Megaforce in cooperation with Atlantic Records. So that led to the box set. It's the Atlantic Years. Megaforce was in co-op with Atlantic on all those records, and that's this box set. So that said, let's get at it. Box set. The Atlantic Years, 1986 to 1994. Here's all the records. We're going to just go through them one by one, kind of like what we've been doing on the Legend series, where we go into the lineup changes, who produced them, who mixed them, all that good stuff. So it's a really nice box set. I mean, you've had it for, probably a year and a half now, and the vinyls sound great. They're all 180 gram, remastered. And the only thing I would say is the spine of it. I would love the spine of it to be green. Like the logos. That would have been cooler. It would have like popped out. In the shelf if everything was green. It was kind of like this translucent black, which is it's still pretty cool. But I would have loved it to be green. So let's go through the records. Taken Over was released in March 1987. Bobby Blitz Ellsworth on vocals, Dee Dee Verney on bass, Rat Skates on drums, Bobby Gustafson on guitar. Produced and engineered by Alex Perialis, who's done stuff for MOD, Anthrax, Carnivore, Nuclear Assault, Testament, Propane. Check out Propane, man. Don't sleep on Propane. Go pick up Foul Taste of Freedom. You're gonna love that one. I'm telling you, such a great underrated band. Um, Executive producer Johnny Z, mastered by Steven Innocenzi and Tim Coyle. Video for In Union We Stand. So great record. Wasn't my first Overkill record. When I got Under the Influence as a kid, I went back and got the back catalog, this one, and Feel the Fire. And like I was infatuated with Overkill back then. Like all those old Overkill records are 10 out of 10, man. So Deny the Cross, Wrecking Crew, Staple the Live Set, Fear His Name, Use Your Head, Fatal If Swallowed, Power Surge, so underrated. In Union We Stand, the video, Electro Violence, Overkill 2, The Nightmare Continues. Overkill's Taken Over, 1987. Let's go to July 1988. Again, my first Overkill record. Under the Influence, you had one lineup change on this one from the last record. So you had Bobby Blitz on vocals, Dee Dee Verney on bass, Bobby Gustafson back on guitar, and enter Sid Falk on drums. Rat Skates left the band, and they got Sid Falk in to replace him. Now, Rat Skates also did the logo. So that classic Overkill logo that they still use to this day was done by Rat Skates. Produced and engineered again by Alex Perialis, mixed by Michael Wagner, who I think we've talked about on the channel before. He's done stuff for Megadeth, Ozzy, Skid Row, Wasp, Dokken. Video for Hello from the Gutter. And that was the first Overkill video I saw, the Hello from the Gutter video. And I was, instantly floored and hooked, as me and all my friends were back then, just getting into thrash metal. And it was a special time for me. And this is a special record for me. It holds a special place in my heart. And I can't say enough good things about it. There's also a rawness about this record that none of the other Overkill albums seem to have for me. The guitar tone on it was just raw as fuck. I just love it to this day. Bobby Gustafson is one of my favorite guitarists to this day. And I mentioned it on one of the other videos we did. I think it was the interview with Issa Brutal from Self Disgrace. I met him at the Limelight in New York City. Now, he had been let go from Overkill for a while. And we were there we went to see Cannibal Corpse, and we were up on like the balcony, and I was with my friend, and I looked over at a guy, and it looked like Bobby Gustafson to me. He was just big, long black hair, big ass beard, and it, I knew it was him, and I was just kind of scared to go up to him because I was a kid, and he looked mean as fuck. I was like, fuck it, man. So I went up to him like, hey, man, your name wouldn't be Bob, would it? And he's like, yeah. I was like, Bobby Gustafson? He's like, yeah, man. That's, oh, shit. I'm a big fan, happy to meet you. And I talked to them for a few minutes, and he was a nice dude. And he didn't have many nice things to say about the Overkill guys. He was let go from the band. And I think it was over royalties or some shit. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate, but I believe that that's what it was about, so that said, I love Bobby G, I love Blitz. I love DD. I met those guys both, and they're super guys, and they're all my metal heroes, so, but that's just a side story. But Shred, Never Say Never, Hello from the Gutter, Mad Gone World, Brain Fade, Drunken Wisdom, End of the Line, Head First, Overkill 3, Under the Influence. Just, but this record's a 10 out of 10 for me. Love everything about it. Love the songwriting. I love the guitar tone. I love the album cover. Just screams my youth to me, And again, it's another record that I can't say enough good things about, man. So Overkill's Under the Influence. Now, on this box set, you got 6 records in here. They're all remastered on 180 gram vinyl. So let's jump to 1989, October, in fact, and we've got the Years of Decay. Another masterpiece of a record. So the lineup on this one, Bobby Blitz Ellsworth on vocals, Dee Dee Verney on bass, Bobby Gustafson on guitar, Sid Falk on drums. So produced, mixed, and engineered by Terry Date, who I know we've talked about on a channel before. He's done stuff for Metal Church, Dark Angel, Slayer, Prong, Pantera, and I got a side note about Pantera on this one in a minute. But mastered by Howie Weinberg, who's done stuff for like Gwar, Demolition Hammer, Danzig. I've been listening to a ton of Danzig lately. He's heavy in my rotation right now. Grim Reaper. I did the music video for Elimination on this. Elimination. And so it was said that Dimebag Darrell of Pantera was so impressed with this record that they hired Terry Date to produce the record that would be Cowboys from Hell. So there you go. Amazing, amazing record. Another flawless record, 10 out of 10 for me. Time to Kill, Elimination, I Hate. I mean, how great is I Hate? Fuck. Nothing to Die For, Playing with Spiders, Skull Crusher, Birth of Tension, Living with the Tension, Tension. Who Tends the Fire, so underrated. Years of Decay, Evil Never Dies. You got END, Evil Never Dies, which is essentially Overkill Part 4, but it wasn't named Overkill Part 4. So, Overkills, The Years of Decay, so fucking good, man. So, another masterpiece of a record. Let's jump to September 1991, and we get the mighty Horoscope. Now, we've got some lineup changes on this one. Bobby Gustafson was out of the band, we just talked about. You got Bobby Blitz Ellsworth on vocals, Dee Dee Verney on bass, Sid Falk on drums. Enter 2 guitar players, Merritt Gant on guitar, who was with a band called Faith or Fear. If you're a Thrash fan, you're probably at least familiar with Faith or Fear. And Rob Canavino on guitar, who was with a band called Fright. And other than that, I don't know much about Rob Canavino. But produced, mixed, and engineered by Terry Date. Mastered by Howie Weinberg. Again, videos for Horoscope. You remember the Horoscope video on the Headbangers Ball? Like, that was so good. Coma and Thanks for Nothing. Cover on this one, Frankenstein, the Edgar Winter cover, the instrumental. So, another great fucking record. I mean, I like Under the Influence and the Years of Decay a little bit better than this one, but this one is gold too, man. It really is. Infectious, Blood Money, Thanks for Nothing, Bare Bones. How great is Bare Bones? The fucking piano in the beginning of that. Horoscope, New Machine, Frankenstein, the cover, Live Young, Die Free. Nice Day for a Funeral, underrated track. Solitude, another underrated track. So. Horoscope, Overkill. Let's go to 1993, and a very controversial record for me, only because I loved Overkill so much back then, and this was just a departure from what they were doing, So if you were around back then, if you were a fan of Overkill back then, and you were up to date on what they were doing, and then you heard I Hear Black, you probably felt the same way that I did, Now, I'm older now. I was a kid back then. Actually, I graduated high school in 1993. And I get it. Like, I get that musicians need to branch out and do different things. I get that now, like I really didn't back then, So like, I just wanted, Under the Influence or Years of Decay, part two or so, something like that. But we got I Hear Black, March in 1993. A complete departure, really, from kind of what they were doing up to that point. This is more of like a very Sabbathy kind of record, groovy, groove metalish, maybe stonerish in parts, so it's not the record that I wanted, and that's why I was so disappointed with it. And, I can listen to this record now and enjoy it. I mean, there's a lot of things that I enjoy about this record, but it brings a lot of memories that, like I remember listening to it in my friend's car. We went to pick it up and we were driving back home when I was like, oh, this is not the Overkill that I know, it was a disappointment for me, but, it's still a decent record, it really is. So you got Bobby Blitz Ellsworth on vocals, Dee Dee Verney on bass, Merrick Gant, Rob Cannavino on guitar, and enter Tim Mallory on drums from MOD. So Sid Falk was out. I don't know if he left the band. I think he left the band, but Dreaming in Colombian, I Hear Black, decent track. World of Hurt, decent track. Feed My Head, decent track. Shades of Grey, decent track. Spiritual Void, probably the best track on here, at least for me. Ghost Dance, Weight of the World, Ignorance and Innocence, Undying. So you had a video for Spiritual Void, produced and engineered by Alex Perialis again, and co-engineered by Rob Hunter, who did stuff for MOD, and he was actually an ex-Raven musician. He was in Raven from 1979 to 1988. So Overkill's I Hear Black. Great album cover too. Dark as fuck, right? I always love the album cover for I Hear Black. All right, let's go to the last one in this box set. This came out in July 1994. And this is WFO, Wide Fucking Open. Now, just I saw Overkill so much back then. Every time they used to blow around through my town, or at least near where I lived, I saw them on every tour, starting with probably Horoscope, I think it was. I mean, it wasn't Years of Decay, because I was too young back then to get into clubs, so I think it was Horoscope that it was the first time I think I saw Overkill. It may have been sooner than that. We followed somebody down to a club down in Westchester one year. It might have been Years of Decay tour. I'm not really sure. I got to go through my ticket stubs, but I mean, Overkill's a band I've seen probably close to 20 times, to this day, so, and I saw them a ton back then, pretty much, whenever they came around, we were there. And this is the same lineup as I Hear Black. Bobby Blitz on vocals, Dee Dee Verney on bass, Merrick Gant, Rob Cannavino on guitar, Tim Mallory on drums. Produced by Overkill. The band produced this one. Engineered by Doug Cook and Tom Bender. Mastered again by Howie Weinberg. Videos for Bastard Nation and Fast Junkie. And the last of the Atlantic Years records, and the last one in this box set. Where It Hurts, Fast Junkie, The Weight, New High and Lows. That was the intro from Carlito's Way, the movie, for The Weight, New High and Lows. They Eat Their Young, What's Your Problem, Under One, Supersonic Hate, Rip, Undone, Up to Zero, Bastard Nation, Gasoline Dream. Gasoline Dream is so killer, man. So, another really solid record. Overkill's Wide Fucking Open. So that's the box set. There's 6 vinyls in the box set. The box set was on BMG. So if you don't have it, definitely check it out. All the vinyls sound great. It's definitely worth picking up. Forget how much I paid for it when I bought it. It was probably like $130, I think it was, totally worth it. So gave me a chance to, it's the 2-year anniversary of this box set. So it gave me a chance to kind of like talk about Overkill a little bit without going into every record of theirs. I mean, they got 20 fucking records out, and it'd be a long ass video. So maybe we'll do a part 2 to this one. And, I'm putting this in the Legend series because they're a legendary band. They're still going strong. And, I love Overkill, always have, and I always will. So that said, thanks for hanging with me on the Realms of Metal. You know, throw some comments down below. What's your favorite Overkill record? What's your favorite Overkill lineup? You know, what's your favorite Overkill tracks? You know, whatever you want to throw down. And thanks to everybody who's, you know, watching the videos, liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate a lot. Appreciate that a lot. You know, we're having fun here. We're talking about records. We're talking about bands. And, you know, how much better does it get than that? So we have a t-shirt giveaway contest that we posted last Sunday, either last Saturday or last Sunday, but the deadline is tomorrow. We're going to pick a winner tomorrow. So find that video, the holiday t-shirt giveaway. We're going to pick somebody in the comments and send them a free Realms of Metal t-shirt. Watch the video. It's only like a minute long. Put in like your favorite band or your favorite record, where you're from, and your shirt size, and we're going to pick somebody and send them a free t-shirt. And again, appreciate you all, and thanks for hanging with me on the Realms of Metal. We'll see you guys again real soon.